Indo-Bangladesh border. It's a big concern because frightened Hindu citizens of Bangladesh have now gathered at the border in Cooch Behar wanting to get out of Bangladesh. These are Hindus who are desperate here. Troops of 157 Battalion of BSF have been deployed in the area. It is known that more than 100 Bangladeshi citizens have gathered in the Gendukuri and Dhaikawa villages of the Gaibandha district, about 400 meters away from the Indian barbed wire. They can be seen standing all day from Friday morning. On the other hand, the barbed wire is in Cooch Behar. Adequate BSF personnel have been deployed in the Patantuli village of the Shaitar Kulchi and patrolling is underway. BSF is keeping a close eye, is what we know. These are pictures, in fact, coming in from the Indo-Bangladesh border. Gaurav, not just the citizens of Bangladesh, not just the Hindu minorities who've been suppressed here, but the big concern is, and this has been flagged off, Gaurav, is that the fact of the matter is that along with these people, along with the Hindu minorities who are getting persecuted here, will, in fact, there would be a possibility of even criminals, including terrorists who escape from Bangladesh jails to infiltrate. And this is a huge, huge concern.
This indeed is, but when you look at these pictures, they're truly heartbreaking.
Yes.
These are Bangladeshi nationals, they're Bangladeshi citizens, both Hindus and Muslims. Hindus, the Bangladeshi Hindus who are specifically being targeted by Jamaat-e-Islami and other radical Islamist forces in Bangladesh. There are also the Awami League workers, supporters, in some instances even leaders with their families standing in knee-deep water wanting to come to India for safety. And this is so sad because India has seen this even earlier. You'd recall lakhs of Bangladeshi immigrants had come to India, which actually subsequently led to the 1971 war. But that time there was the butcher of Dhaka called General Tika Khan, who was a Pakistani who was carrying out those atrocities. Now, of course, it's not at that scale, but the tragedy is that once again you have these radical Islamists who are carrying out targeted killings of Awami League workers and supporters, and also the radical Islamists taking advantage of that situation, targeting minority Hindus in Bangladesh, targeting their temples, targeting their homes, targeting their businesses, picking up their women. It's truly tragic, some of the information that's filtering out of Bangladesh, and the equally tragic is the denial of what is happening on ground. It's only after Professor Muhammad Yunus, who took charge in Bangladesh, that he commented on it and that Prime Minister Narendra Modi commented on it, that people have been forced to take notice of ground realities in Bangladesh. But these images, look at them. People are standing in knee-deep water, desperately trying to save their lives from those radical Islamists in Bangladesh.
Absolutely, and attacks on Hindu minorities continue here in Bangladesh, Gaurav. It has just not been limited up until the time when Sheikh Hasina was in Bangladesh and eventually made to flee Bangladesh. But the atrocities, they continue, as what reports indicate, isn't it? There's just so many disturbing pictures and videos that are, in fact, coming out of Bangladesh.
Some bits we've been able to verify, some bits the Bangladeshi media has been able to verify, and some bits, while it's circulating on social media, it's very difficult, at this stage to sift through all the information that's coming in, verify them and use them. But there are certain facts. It's not just the Hindus who are being targeted in Bangladesh. Look at the Indira Gandhi Cultural Center in Dhaka that was targeted, vandalized and set on fire. What does that have to do with either Sheikh Hasina or her Awami League? It is very specific targeting of Indian interests. And why is this happening? There are reports that seem to indicate that Pakistan's ISI is once again spreading its tentacles across Bangladesh through the Jamaat-e-Islami, through other political parties, including the BNP, and trying to ensure that Indian influence is curtailed. So bad was the situation that the Indian embassy was forced to send back its non-essential staff and also curb visa services for some time. And that is because safety of Indians could not be, including embassy staff, could not be guaranteed in this chaos in Bangladesh. One only hopes, with Professor Muhammad Yunus now in charge and the army insisting that they will try and ensure peace, that some sanity prevails in Bangladesh.
Staying with these pictures coming in from the Indo-Bangladesh border, where so many Hindu minorities from Bangladesh have gathered. The hope is that they get an opportunity to then come to India, where they would obviously feel safe. The Prime Minister, while congratulating the head of the interim government, Muhammad Yunus, also talking about the fact that he hopes that the safety of the minorities is on top of the priority list of the new administration. Gaurav, they're really mincing no words, indicating that India is extremely concerned. Gaurav.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has commented about it. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has commented about it. The Union Home Minister Amit Shah has spoken about security and the need for security, including at the India-Bangladesh border. So the situation is precarious. India is watching it very closely. Do keep in mind that India and Bangladesh share a very, very warm relationship, a very strong partnership, and it's not restricted just to Sheikh Hasina's government. While it, of course, grew a lot during Sheikh Hasina's government, but the birth of Bangladesh, India played a very important role, training the Mukti Jodhas, the Mukti Bahini, sending in the Indian army, defeating Pakistan, splitting Pakistan into two, and the birth of Bangladesh. But unfortunately, that radical Islamist mindset that took over. Look at the horrifying images that come out from Bangladesh. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who played such a critical role in the birth of Bangladesh, a freedom fighter. Many would argue, or many in Bangladesh, compare him to Mahatma Gandhi of Bangladesh. Whether that comparison can be made or not, but Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's statues have been busted, and people, these radical Islamists, they were urinating on that statue, bringing down that statue. All of that's happened in Bangladesh, and that just shows that radical Islamist mindset is taking control of that country. Pakistan's ISI seems to be playing a much, much bigger role. So a country that was saved from Pakistan in 1971 seems to be in Pakistan's ISI's laps in 2024.
Absolutely, Gaurav, and it's a concern to India that these developments are in fact taking place in our neighboring country at this point in time. I'm going to thank you for getting in those details and putting that into perspective. These are pictures coming in from the Indo-Bangladesh border, where minority Hindus are in fact have gathered. The hope is that they get an opportunity to then come to India, live here, have a dignified life here. Meanwhile, the government of India is adopting a wait and watch policy for the same.